Mortal Kombat fans are toxic. Yep, to longtime fans, this is nothing new. You already know about this. From direct threats to writers and developers to arguing with each other like rabid dogs, and everything in between. Today, I'm ranking the most toxic fandoms within the Mortal Kombat community. And that's community with a K, by the way. From Mileena fans to Twindel defenders, and you get the idea. Mortal Kombat is famous for its violence and aggression, so toxic fans do kinda make sense. Though with all that said, most Mortal Kombat fans are completely normal. They go to work, they get home and play some matches, and afterwards eat dinner and go to bed. But today's video focuses on the toxic fans because that's more fun to talk about. So leave a like down below to help end the toxicity. And if today's video gets 2,000 likes, then all of the fandom must cease before they doom us all. For anybody watching who might be new to this channel, I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers before 2026. So let's do it together. Smash that red button and ring that bell so you never miss any future content. Alright everyone, now without any further ado, let's begin. Alright, here we go, the most toxic Mortal Kombat fans. Real quick, a tier breakdown. At the top is death threats. Pretty self-explanatory. These fans have sent literal threats to developers and writers, you get the idea, and lots of threats, not just one. Then we have rabid dogs. These fans are always arguing, usually with each other, but they'll pick a fight with anybody, hence the name rabid dogs. Then below that is salty. These fans are not really aggressive, but they are usually angry, right? They're just malding all the time. Next up is toxic positivity. So these fans aren't actually angry at anybody. Instead, they promote things that other people find toxic in the community, hence the name toxic positivity. Next up is potential rage. These fandoms are normally chill, right? But when activated, they get really angry, kind of like a beehive, right? Normally chill, just don't whack them. Then finally, in the bottom tier, we have not toxic. These fandoms are not bad whatsoever. They're actually very chill, and that's it. I don't like my videos to be all negative, so that's the positive tier for today's video. Alright, all the tier lists are broken down. Let's begin with the Mileena fans. They're going at the very top in death threats. That's right, and anyone who played Mortal Kombat 11 knows exactly what I'm talking about. This game launched without Mileena, and the Mileena stands were not happy about that, sending literal threats to developers and writers saying add this character now. And even when not sending death threats, they would still constantly bring up Mileena no matter what. On every single post from Ed Boon, you would see a Mileena stand. They were there. In fact, this next story is gonna sound made up, but it's not. This actually happened. Either Ed Boon or one of the Mortal Kombat developers lost their dog and tweeted about it. Rest in peace, my dear Woofer, something like that. And wouldn't you know it, the comments were filled with Mileena stands. That's right, we're sad too, put in Mileena. You're sad about your dog being dead, we're sad about Mileena not being in the game, and these two things are equal. Once again, this story sounds made up. It's not. Yeah, the Mileena fans can get really toxic, so they're in the top tier. But next up, let's talk about Tanya. Where is she going in the rabid dogs tier? That's right, because Tanya fans look for any reason to get upset. If you critique their character, they get mad. If you leave out their character from the game, they get mad too. If you make Tanya's skin even a bit too light, they will get mad at you. And again, I'm not joking. You think I am? I'm not. In fact, lately, the Tanya community is arguing with themselves about what race Tanya is, when the answer is Edenian. But for some reason, they're still arguing and want to compare Tanya to Earth races, even though Tanya's not from Earth. Yeah, so in summary, the Tanya fanbase is always arguing with somebody, and usually themselves. They pick fights with each other. Next up, we have Jade. This character's going in the salty tier because fans are just upset that she's not in the game, but luckily they're not rabid like Tanya fans or sending death threats like Mileena fans. They're a couple tiers lower, but still they are salty. And I'm gonna put Scorpion here too, actually in front of Jade, because while he was included in Mortal Kombat 1, his entire identity was changed, and Scorpion fans have never forgiven NetherRealm for that. To this day, they're still upset about it, and that might be justified, honestly. You change a character completely, that's gonna upset people. However, before the Mortal Kombat 1 incident, Scorpion fans were still edgelords who argued their character could beat everybody and was just the best character ever, which is also toxic and also delusional. Scorpion has lost tons of fights, you guys. He's not unbeatable, alright? Next up is the toxic positivity tier. Twindel is going here for sure. Easily one of the worst inventions from NetherRealm, and I'm not exaggerating, because this character took a steaming hot dump on existing existing lore from the past decade or so with the Mortal Kombat story. For some reason, NetherRealm thought it was a good idea to rip this character apart and just change her completely. Her motivation, her personality, her goals, all that stuff was completely changed, which of course upset most fans. However, to this day, there are some Twindel fans who argue that Evil Sindel is better than the original, and you're wrong. You're just wrong about that. Your positivity is literally toxic, so you're going in this tier along with the Shao Kahn fans, actually. Well, the crazy ones, because keep in mind, I'm a Shao Kahn fan as well, but there's some toxic positivity in this community, I'm not gonna lie. Because for about a month now, I have the same Shao Kahn commenter saying, where's the Shao Kahn video? Where's the Shao Kahn video? Even though I already made one, but he wants a different, more specific video for Shao Kahn. And he's not the only one like this. Every 2 days or so, I get a Shao Kahn defender being like, bro, Shao Kahn can beat everybody. No diff, strongest Mortal Kombat character. No, he's not. The man has recorded losses. We can all agree he would never lose to Katana. That was nonsense in Mortal Kombat 11. But Liu Kang, Shujinko, and maybe even Kung Lao could beat this guy. Let's just be real. Stop glazing Shao Kahn all the time, alright? It's toxic positivity. Alright, next up is potential rage. Sonya Blade stands are going here because Mortal Kombat 1 awakened them. That's right, until then I had no clue the fandom got this toxic when you leave out their character, but that's because Sonya's always in the games, right? She always makes the roster. Even for Mortal Kombat 1, she's still there and playable, but she's a cameo, and that set off the fandom. Every day since, they've been very mad and demanding for a main character slot Sonya in the game, which sadly never did happen. And believe it or not, Chameleon fans are like this too. Yeah, and you won't believe what triggered them. It was Floyd in Mortal Kombat 1. That's right, because apparently it's kind of implied that Floyd might actually be Chameleon in the new timeline. He just dresses different and looks a bit different too, along with Lady Chameleon, right? Her skin is no longer transparent, instead it's like pale white, and the same is true for Floyd. So people online started to speculate that Floyd is actually Chameleon, and this set off the Chameleon fandom, man. They were so mad. They were rabid. Some fans even made a custom character in Armageddon who looks like Floyd just to kill him as violently as possible. I'm not joking. That's straight up Chris Chan behavior. They took someone they hated and recreated them in Mortal Kombat Armageddon just to kill them in a violent fashion. That's next level toxic. However, credit where it's due, they weren't attacking real people or going after the writers, developers, none of that stuff. So they're actually not that bad when you think about it. Alright, time for the not toxic tier. Smoke fans are going here. You guys are so adorable. You do request the character a lot for games. However, you're never rude about it or rabid. You never even argue with each other about stuff. You're so damn chill, and it's awesome. And oddly enough, the same is true for Kano fans, which is wild given the character, right? Kano himself is the definition of toxic. The man urinates in his intro, for Pete's sake. He's always spitting or getting drunk, doing horrible things to people. He's a mass murderer. The guy is terrible. And yet, his fans are so non-toxic. They're adorably calm and chill. It's really interesting how the character is the opposite of the fandom in this regard. Now, alright everyone, there's 3 more characters I wanted to talk about. First up is Nitara. I think she goes in the salty tier because fans are upset with the Megan Fox situation. Yeah, and understandably so. Nitara went from a very requested character, one of the most popular 3D era characters, to now the least popular, and it's Megan Fox's fault. Well, actually it's NetherRealm's fault, right? Whoever had the idea to replace her voice with Megan Fox and her character model too, it's your fault. Because now Nitara's no longer popular. I don't think people even want her back for the sequel, which is so sad. You did nothing with her realm either, man. Come on, a vampire world? You did nothing with that? Fumble of the century, and that's no exaggeration, man. You could have done so much with Nitara, and you fumbled it so hard. Next up are the Serena fans. They can get very rabid. In fact, Sonika XD has a commenter who was stalking him and bothering him all the time for months. And guess why? Sonika XD made a smash her pass video and said, I don't really care for Serena, and that's all it took. If you are negative towards this character in any way, you can trigger the most rabid people in the fandom. Now with that said, most of them are chill. However, there's enough crazy ones. I've experienced this myself too, where they just go nuts in the comments. If you mention Serena and it's anything negative, you will get blowback. Then finally, while making this video, I remembered something, a personal story about my own experience. Over a year ago on Twitter, a Devora fan made a video where I just die and get infected by a bug, and it's fully animated. It's so weird and disturbing, oddly creepy. I was very unsettled by the whole thing. Doesn't help that I watched it late at night, and maybe the whole thing was meant to be a joke, just some light trolling, but man, when you watch your own face get distorted and split apart and give birth to bugs, That's pretty weird. And this person was not alone. They had their own group of D'Vorah stans who were like the Hive or something, and they defend D'Vorah like crazy. Now keep in mind, I like D'Vorah. I think she's a cool character. All I did was state facts and say D'Vorah is the most hated character from the NetherRealm games, and also one of the most hated Mortal Kombat characters overall, which is a true statement. I was just speaking truth. I was the messenger. But yeah, that whole experience was crazy. So I guess D'Vorah is going in death threats because that happened to me. It was really weird. And alright everyone, there you have it. The most toxic fandoms in Mortal Kombat, ranked from bad to worst. Once again, most people in the Mortal Kombat community are very chill and normal people, including the fandoms themselves, right? They're mostly decent. Even the stans are typically normal and chill people. Well, I'm not sure about normal. If you call yourself a stan, you're already not quite normal, but you're mostly chill. So I just wanted to end the video by stating that, alright? No hard feelings. Today's video is just for fun and based on shared experiences. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. It helps the channel out a ton. Let's try and get today's video to 2,000 likes and help end toxicity in the Mortal Kombat community. Then for anyone new, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers before 2026, and I think we can do it. Make sure to come back next time everyone, and as always, stay underdogs.